Hi, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what to expect in Module 2. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see. So you have my introductory video here. You have the learning outcomes and a checklist. You can print that off, check it off. But now this one has goals. And so goal 1 is basically week 1. And goal 2 is the next week. And the next week is goal 3. But that's also the end of the module or the entire module. What you'll find at the bottom here is you'll find in the exam, I'm sorry, you'll find under each of these, like this is all due the first Monday, this is all due the next Monday, and the date should be on there as when it's due. I'm making this in January, so the dates are January, but I probably won't remake this video, so it could be a summer date or other dates. And then you'll have down at the bottom the discussion board. You click there. It'll have a question where you ask you to think about an argument, take it apart, and I will, kind of grade it based upon the criteria that are laid out here. Respond to at least 2 other people. And then below that on the last week, you'll also need to take the module exam, an exam over the entire module. I don't have an exam in there, but I probably do in one of these other modules. Let me see real quick. There it is. And it will just be sitting there kind of unindented and sitting there. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I'll take this and make it flush. That way it's kind of seen as separate, as it's like one of the last 2 things you do to finish out the entire module. All right, when you go in there, when you click the link, you will, if you've signed up for Applia, if you haven't all done so already, do so. They usually give a week or 2 free in order to understand that people don't always have the code or the money right at the beginning of the semester. But after 2 weeks, if you haven't paid, they'll cut you off. It also allows you to sign up for the course, and if you decide you want to drop, then you don't have to deal with a refund or anything because you hadn't paid for it. And so it probably works out well on their end as well, that they don't have to worry about a bunch of refunds and things. And most people aren't going to finish the entire course in 2 weeks, so they see that as probably the best situation. So you go through, there's the readings. If you bought the loose leaf to go along with it, that's great. But the lessons are here. And this notes on logic, the history of logic is probably something worth scanning. And it has homework here, has different assignments. This you don't have to do the assignments. That's not part of this. And then that's your chapter and that's your reading. Now, if you ever get into MindTap and you're like, I wanted something else, you can also close out of this and it will give you week by week what the assignments are. And you can also click here and it will give you a chapter by chapter reading of the book. And so you don't have to don't think that you have to have the module or the course. You can let me think how to say this. If you lose track or you want to kind of play around in the course, you can do that. And if you're working on chapter one, you can come here and you go, I want to try these exercises. I want some extra work because I just felt like the Applia and the learning logic tutorial weren't enough. You can come in here and it will give you the questions that were in the book, and you can then kind of do this, and you can say submit, and it'll say, yes, you got those right. And you can come in here and let's see if we can get one of these wrong. I don't know. Got them both wrong, and it'll tell you why. And that's a nice additional thing to do in order to make sure you get the work done. Okay. All right. So now each of these has a different, I can't see because you guys can't see the taskbar for Zoom on there, but I can. And so I can't see. Anyway, here we go. Sorry. There we go. So if you come back in here, you're going to find 2 other things in each goal. You're going to find almost every chapter, you're going to find a learning logic tutorial and Applia assignment. The learning logic tutorial is kind of an older way that it was like when they first developed like software to teach logic. This was what they had. And what these do is they're basically just kind of rudimentary. They'll say, okay, argument and conclusion, it'll give you definitions, and it'll go through kind of point by point. It'll give kind of a PowerPoint of what you're trying to learn. and then it'll give you some questions that you answer, and it will, you come here to problem, and here is another practice problem. Identify the conclusion indicator, and then identify the premise and conclusion. And so key your mouse on the conclusion indicator. And so hence as a conclusion indicator, you would click that and it would say correct. And if you come to one and it says, okay, the conclusion here is it follows that. But if I click need, it'll say, nope, you didn't get it right. So I click the right one and it'll say, yes, that's the correct one. And it will kind of go through and give you some rudimentary problems. It's a nice way to practice the first time. And then the one that gets scored for points is going to be the Applia assignment. Applia can be a little bit more complex at times than other things, but the way it works is you're going to come in here to Applia. Let it open. Sorry, takes just a second. Still waiting. Sorry. And what you're going to do is you're going to have different sections like what is an argument, statements, things like that. And it's going to come in here and it's again going to start off with a little bit of description of what a statement is. And then it's going to say save the whales. And then it's going to say sentence A does not have a truth value, has a truth value, or has a truth value of true or has a truth value of false. Well, save the whales isn't really a statement. It's a prescription or telling you what to do. So that isn't really a statement in the sense of a true or false, empirically or analytically discernible truth. And so we would call that does not have a truth value. And this means the sentence is not a statement. And then I agreed that you practiced your arithmetic, that you practice. I suggest that you I suggest that you practice your arithmetic. And then next one, personal computers were invented in the 20th century, and that would be truth value of true. That is true. And it is a statement because it has a truth value. It is generally safe to eat raw chicken. That is a false statement. So you enter those, and that makes it a true statement. And I'm guessing they're saying, like, I suggest that you practice your arithmetic it's a prescription, or it's not really a statement. Although technically it could be, because you either suggest or don't suggest that is discernible. But you click save, and it will then come back. Grade it now. Sorry. I need to go. I guess I lost my previous page, but so what you do is, sorry, hold on, is if you come into this and you get one wrong or you get them right, it'll grade it. Now, the thing is, and I'm sorry, I backed out of there. I was kind of going through it and showing you how it worked, and then I got backed out. So anyway, but if you come in here and I did attempt one and I click grade it now, it's going to say, okay, you got them all right. And so I click continue and we're good, right? So back to assignment will take us back. So I got 4 of 4, so I don't need to redo it. But this one I got 0 of 4. So that means I should redo it. I get 3 attempts, and whatever the highest score is will become your score. And then what's going to happen is if I get all 38 points possible, I'd have 100%. And that would be a 10 out of 10 in the grade book. And that's the way this is done. When you're all done with all these assignments, you've taken all the chances. If you get it wrong, it will tell you why you got it wrong at the end. It'll give you some explanation of why you got it wrong. See in this box here, it tells why it's wrong. That gives you a chance to review and fix it. And that's the way that works. And when you click and when you get done with it, you're going to click I'm done, grade assignment now. And when you click that, that will send the grade and basically cement this. So if I click that, it's going to say, your assignment's incomplete. Do you really want to do that? And you're going to say, no, I don't. But if you've completed everything and you've taken all the attempts you want to do, click that and it will submit. And then they'll come up in the grade book on Canvas so I can get it. With that said, if you don't click that, then on the day it's due, it will automatically submit it for you. And if you haven't submitted it, but you're done, you might get an email from me, because I try to send an email every week saying, hey, you still have an assignment due. It's due today. Just a reminder. I'm not sending that. I'm not targeting you. I'm not writing that to anybody. I'm writing that to everybody who hasn't done it or hasn't clicked this little button. And just so they don't forget, because sometimes people get busy and they forget, oh crap, I forgot the deadline was Monday. And I forgot today was Monday because I've been working. I mean, I get confused about the day of the week sometimes. My kids are sick and I have a day off, or we go somewhere, or I just, work a different day or whatever. So please keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. But that's just a little bit of a brief what you can expect. And if you have questions, let me know.